around the first time around the summer 24, but instead of jumping in immediately, I spent a few months serving the community and studying the metrics. Already at this point, after 2.5 years, it's like, you might think it's a baby project. It's not. It's already a living organism. Such internal diversity is insane. From every single background, every single culture. We have like subcultures inside SPX. We have archives, we have moral codes, we have symbolic figures, and all that, like, it's collected memory creating in real time.
Hey everyone, it's Southern Fried Chat again. I'm here with Moss, an awesome Aeon doing incredible work for the SPX conference in Amsterdam and plenty of other stuff. How are you doing, man?
Awesome. Very good. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're showing off your background. I think it's pretty sick, dude. It's sick.
It's Mike's work for the Amsterdam conference.
Yeah, that's right. Mike, incredible, the art he makes. And I mean, he's like very multi-talented. He can do a lot of things.
Absolutely. He deploys like the amount of energy the guy gives to the movement is insane. All the other team members as well, T-Dog is the same.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if I hadn't met him, I think I would probably assume his profile is being managed by several people, because the amount of energy, the guy's everywhere.
Dude, you're not wrong. I remember, like early on, compared to whenever I got in back in September of 2024. But I remember Mike was like always, like, he made memes like even more than that than he does now. Like, he was just like constant making memes. That was the main thing he was doing then. I think it was the main thing a lot of us were doing. And it was insane how much he posted. It was
relentlessly.
And unique memes for every post almost. It was crazy. But yeah, he was a meme machine for sure, and he still is. When did you get into SPX?
I think it was a gradual process, First time I came across SPX was like the way most people do, timeline and charts. Around the first time around the summer 24, but instead of jumping in immediately, I spent a few months observing the community and studying the metrics.
Sure.
Obviously, Murad helped a great deal with that. But yeah, observing the community from the outside without interacting, without following anyone. And few things I remember caught my attention, like there was already like some kind of inner language, that sparked my curiosity. And I remember I was also paying a lot of attention to OGs and how they related, how people related to them, that was actually quite important to me. If there had been some kind of authority claims or, this kind of hierarchical posture, it probably would have been a deal breaker to me. And it's great that it's really not the case. It's they know how to not to position themselves this way, and I think that's really great.
Yeah, I think it's truly like a meritocracy for the most part. I had zero voice in the community, and over time I've built up a voice just from doing the YouTube and all that. So I think and Mike's is a good example too, and you as well. The more work you do, the more, I hate using the term, but I guess influence you have, the more say you have in the community, which I think is good. But then anybody can do it. And also if that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah.
So when do you think, like, when did you, I guess, like, totally get it and were in it, if you know what I mean? Like, when was that? the belt.
I'm still working on it, actually.
Okay.
I'm still studying it. It's well, I remember like there were obviously throughout the whole this period, the few months, the first few months that I before I actually joined in, um, which happened, I think, around December 24 and more consequently in February 25.
Gotcha.
I remember when something actually clicked when I started to look into like the growing process and understanding what actually CTO means, not just community takes over
Sure.
as a slogan, but as a structural condition. Know what I mean?
Yep.
So no leadership, no central authority, and it's like culture forming through participation itself.
Right.
And when I finally got that sense, that was like a defining moment to me. That was like a clear green light. And because when you look at this historical precedence, whenever you see that kind of spontaneous cultural formation, it actually means something deeper is going on. So that's when I decided to cross the threshold.
That's awesome, man. What was your crypto background before SPX?
Then again, it was a gradual process. Someone sent me the Bitcoin white paper in 2013.
Wow.
I read it. But I didn't get in. Like
Sure.
It was well, obviously I could understand like maybe 15 to 20% of it, but my instinct told me that if I got in at that time, it would just ruin everything else. It would be like a rabbit hole, and it would just swallow everything else, all my professional engagements. And I was a PhD candidate at that time, so I wasn't
amazing.
I wasn't ready for that, And I stepped in 2016, and I was lucky enough to be kind of coached by a good friend of mine who had more experience. He was already there for a couple of years, and he was also a PhD candidate. So we had like a very scholarly approach,
Sure.
This, we went through the entire ICO boom with these weekly meetings with him and another friend of ours, and we had to. There were like thousands of utility coins every day.
Sure.
So we actually split the whole space. You take the supply chain management, you take pharmaceutical, you take cybersecurity. We divided the space into different sectors, and it was, well, obviously we couldn't cover everything, but it was we got much more work done that way. And the fact that I had to report on what caught my attention every week, like it forced me to do it was really enriching. I wouldn't have done that by myself, clearly. So I was really lucky to go through this, and yeah, mostly around that time, utility coins. I was really interested, even though I'm not a tech guy. I've always been interested in more of the social impact of crypto, rather than crypto itself, and never got into meme coins. No interest whatsoever.
Sure.
SPX triggered something through a different path.
What did you get your PhD in? Out of curiosity.
I'm not sure how to reconcile those two aspects of my life yet.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that my background revolves around art, and something that I discovered very early, like when I was 11. And I was lucky enough to realize that quite quickly it was going to be like a central part of my life. And for a while, that path took me through academia.
Mm.
I worked as a researcher and a professor
Cool.
around that artistic practice, and but that chapter is behind me now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just curious. I have a master's degree. I never did go for a PhD, but so I was just curious. I did a master's in economics, which was cool. Didn't really,
Awesome.
yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. What I learned though was I didn't really like finance and economics. I actually really enjoyed writing. I wrote a program that crawled the web at the time, which was pretty cool, and got like eBay data because I was doing like a statistics on on some eBay auctions and things like that. And yeah, I learned I actually enjoyed the programming part more than the statistical analysis. So I ended up in IT. So it was a good it was good to help me learn what I actually wanted to do. I would say it's not really directly applicable to what I do, but I did enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And do you feel like it's been useful, like in your experience of crypto? Or?
Yeah,
Probably.
I would say the economics for sure. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I did learn, supply and demand is deeply ingrained in me, and I see the world that way, and like literally everything. Everything to me is a supply and demand problem at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And you can draw a lot from that, like from like a theoretical perspective. Assuming rational actors assume what should happen, or and and you can, it is also the statistics side. You learn how to tease out different variables, and you can see when there's like some people will present statistical evidence and it's like, well, you didn't take that into account. Well, you did take that into account. That doesn't make sense. But, it helps you be able to see bullshit within data, which is helpful. And it also, I understand how important tokenomics are. Like you can't have supply exploding. That was for example, the Trump coin. As soon as that launched, I was like, okay, this is tons of hype. Clearly it was hyped, but it's even if the hype sustained itself, you have 80% of the supply that still has to hit the market, and that's going to unload very quickly. So that was fairly obvious, but
Yeah, you have like conceptual tools that are extremely valuable in this space.
Yeah. And once and I heard, I was kind of like you. I had read about Bitcoin in 2013. Didn't think much of it at the time, or I thought it was very interesting. I was just very busy with college.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting, but I did think they were crazy. I remember thinking, like, there's no way the government. I just said the government will stop this. There's just no way. So that's where it ended for me. I didn't understand the power of decentralization. That was my issue. I didn't get that. Which, in fairness, that was kind of a new concept, really. So,
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That too, I think that's something we're still working on.
For
I
sure.
mean, we've been praising decentralization for like 16 years, but have we internalized it yet? It's one thing is to have it as a structure, as an infrastructure. Another thing is to integrate that like psychologically.
Yeah, for sure.
In our case, when it comes to SPX, that's actually really important.
Totally. Yeah, and I kind of look at SPX as just is a well, or I guess a well is maybe the right word, a well in which you can build on, or a mountain you can keep building on, because you have this whole tons of content that's already been created, tons of work that's already been done, and you can just kind of take that as inspiration and start to build on it whichever way you see you want to go with it. That's how I kind of look at it. How do you see beyond just an investment or something you want to purchase and own and hold? what do you see? How do you see it as something to build on?
Oh, I guess one personal thing that probably shaped my perspective and still does to that day is that I've always had like complicated relationship with authority and hierarchy and governance in general. Those things never really sat well with me.
Sure.
And when I started observing SPX, it felt like a space where that energy could finally be expressed, and directed towards something meaningful. And I started to see it as something that was not engineered, something that looks much more like what happens when ideas meet the right conditions and a community starts organizing itself. And it's fascinating to be in this brand new territory, knowing that all we got to do is to coordinate, but at the same time, we're learning how, how to coordinate, because that's the first time we have to do that. And it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I see like, I can't even put words on the potential that I see in it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It is definitely cool. Sometimes I forget to take a step back. I'm just like in the weeds of it, and I don't really take a step back and think about it. I'm just like going. I know things are going to happen, and it's going to get cooler and cooler, basically.
Yeah, and it's incredible to see it as already at this point, after 2.5 years. It's like, you might think it's a baby project. It's not. It's already a living organism. It already has its own filtering mechanisms, and I see expressions of that every day. Like when when people talk about things like resonance or collective intelligence, it can sound very abstract, but when you look at other cultures, other cultural and artistic movements historically, they you start noticing like very concrete dynamics, and it's always like you have repeating patterns,
Yeah.
And because we see SPX like something brand new, but if you take like each layer, each component, each ingredient, they all have historical precedents. None of them are new. The novelty is in the way everything is assembled in a coherent system. Like the novelty is in the aggregate, but and that's like to me, that's like a cue, to look at the historical precedents and try to decipher and to understand how this thing works, and but those filtering mechanisms are fascinating. We don't. It's very hard for us to see them because in our experience, we only access like a very small part of the network on a daily basis.
Right.
But when you step back a little and you take like historical examples, you're like, holy shit. And yeah,
I mean,
that's the exciting thing.
It's something we're creating something from nothing, which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like literally nothing. I think that's what another thing people. I was telling my wife about how many people. She's like, "Oh, that's cool, and then she's like, "Yeah, we had a couple hundred from dance." She said, "When do you think it'll get that big, where you could easily get like a 1,000 people?" She dances 1,000 people to like a dance conference or whatever, or where they go and dance and have fun. I was like, I don't know. It might be a while. I'm not sure, but the thing I think people forget is like SPX is just like an idea that it started from literally nothing 2.5 years ago. Dance has been around for forever, so it's not. we don't need to compare ourselves to dance venues and things. Where we're at, I think we're in an incredible spot, considering it's literally from nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah, again, it's like this brand new territory. And we, it's funny because after a while, it started looking more like some kind of early formation of a civilization
Mm-hmm.
than an actual community. You
Right.
have, if you think about it, we have immigration waves. We have
Mm-hmm.
like such internal diversity. It's insane.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
people
it's
from
crazy.
every single background, every single culture. We have like subcultures
Mm-hmm.
inside SPX. We have like archives. We have moral codes. We have symbolic figures, and all that. Like it's collective memory creating in real time. And when you see all those layers interacting and reinforcing each other,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, that's not just it's much larger than a community.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's just one component of it, and all the, like you said, all those layers will. Uh, it's deep. Even though our numbers are, I mean, it is getting bigger and it's growing. But even if our numbers are nowhere near where they're going to be,
Mm-hmm.
it's deep. People in it are obsessed with it, convicted in it, and want to interact with it all the time. It's not like it's not like a little hobby, if you know what I mean.
How could it
It's
be?
huge. Yeah, right. It's huge. It's massive for people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think comparing it to a civilization makes a lot more sense. Because I care more about what's happening in the cognosphere than what's happening in my own country. In my, I mean, I do care about those topics, but you do feel kind of helpless in that. But you feel like you can actually create something here, which is empowering, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's empowering, but I have to say sometimes I feel like obviously when we think of the mission, when we think of like the journey, the path that is like all the obstacles we're gonna meet, and we're gonna have to overcome. It's I don't know. It's like sometimes I feel like it's almost like we're fundamentally unqualified for the job, but there's no one else. You
Yeah.
know, it's gonna have to be us. We're gonna
But
because
there is no qualification. It's all. I feel like a lot of that is kind of bullshit. Anyways, it's just because the system requires people to have qualifications to do certain things. So I feel like people can rise to the challenge more than people realize, if you know what I mean.
I hear you, and that's, yeah. The way it's funny because the way I said it, it's like almost institutional thinking, and
Yeah,
that's actually where I was getting at.
sure.
It's like we've that's all we know. Like
Yeah,
unless like we've all been shaped by institutional environments our entire lives.
yep.
Unless we grew up in a cave and we've been raised by wolves. That applies to all of us.
We need to find the one person that has. I think that'd be amazing in SPX.
But those are things that we're gonna have to let go at some point. Schools teach us authority, companies teach us hierarchy, politics teach us representation, social media teach us like the follower culture and the influencer dynamics, and those patterns really reflect the system that we're trying to move beyond. And
Right.
the reality, sometimes I feel like we carry some of its germs within ourselves. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's gonna probably take a fair amount of self-examination, like individually. I mean, to recognize whenever we behave that way, whenever we read things that way, whenever we behave that way, and gradually let go of them, unlearn that institutional instinct. It's almost like if we have to move from institutional thinking to coordinational thinking, and there's no textbook. It's like the space is there. Now you do the work, and we have to learn how.
Yeah, that's right.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, I think the closest, for me, the closest thing that I can make tangible about how it is, about how the closest thing I could think to relate it to is, and I think this has been stated before, but like a musical movement. Because whenever, like, say grunge rock, whenever that formed, there were lots of bands within grunge rock, but they all kind of coalesced around that sound. And then there were festivals that came from that. There were, bigger and bigger artists, and then it just all kind of happened naturally. You know what I mean? And that's about the best way I could think to kind of relate it, because it is unlike anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But we're the difference is we're kind of aware of it. I don't think people in those kind of movements were aware it was just naturally happening. So it's kind of it's interesting in that way. Or the formation of a country as well. It's harder to think about that nowadays because everything's already so institutionalized. But early on, before institutions existed, countries did kind of form that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And governance structures and all that sort of stuff. But I think now we have insight and we can kind of form it. Or I'm very much in the camp of just like let things naturally happen, and the way it happens is probably the best, instead of trying to centralize, like think about it, too much. Just kind of and there will be natural leaders that pop up over time, and then they will do cool things, and people will help. If that makes sense, so I don't think every single person is a natural leader, if that makes sense. But there are some people who are that's what they're good at, and then there's other people who are good at other things, and then it wouldn't. I don't look at that as a hierarchy though. I still think it's like a flat thing, and then just different pockets of kind of like that subculture idea you said as well. But
no, I understand. Yeah,
it's hard to put into words, to be honest. But I kind of look at it like this. I look at it like we try to make it a hierarchy without it feeling like a hierarchy. SPX to the top, and then it's like a flat layer of different leaders, and then within that there will be people who kind of coalesce around each of those, and then it's like I don't really even know how to explain it, but in my head it kind of makes sense.
No, but I see the picture you're drawing, but I like to think of us as nodes.
Yeah, that's a good way that is perfect.
And yeah, some attract more signal, but I don't think this is permanent.
Right.
I think there's a turnover.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
It's to me it all revolves around the idea of finding the right contribution vector at the right time, because like nobody assigns roles,
right.
Obviously, you simply move in one direction, whether you want to write, create, or research, coordinate, organize events, whatever, and then the network reacts, and if it resonates, it gets amplified.
Yep.
If it doesn't, it just fades. And I don't know how, but some people for some time just find the right contribution vector. It works really well. It amplifies well. But is that permanent? I'm not sure. It's true. I haven't been around for long enough to say that, but maybe in a few years we'll see. But I those are things that you have to organize and reconcile with your real life responsibilities,
Right.
family and work and everything. So it's hard to imagine that you'd be doing the same thing over and over, like forever, for your entire aeonic life,
Persist forever, man.
Yeah. So let's explore everything, right?
Yeah. Maybe I actually just thought of it. Instead of, I said the SPX at the top, but it's probably better to think of it like in the middle. And like you said, like everybody's a little node, and then there's different levels of, like bigger the bubble, the bigger the signal that node may be producing. You could think of that might be a better way. And then there's from that particular node, there might be nodes that kind of pop off from it. And yeah, that's probably a better way to think about it. I think of it almost like that. I think that have you ever used the bubble map site to look at token distribution? That's looks something like that. Is probably a better way to think of it.
I like to think of it that way because then you have the idea of movement. I see this whole thing in perpetual movement, in perpetual transformation and evolution. So that applies to the movement as a living organism, but that applies to us individually as well, and our own contribution, our own participation. So proactivity is the primitive.
Yep. That makes sense. Yeah, Murad's. I was gonna say Murad's definitely a bigger bubble at the moment. I think he said that he thinks it will collapse over time, and I think that's true with everybody, especially early on. Or maybe if you do persist forever, maybe you always have that same amount of signal, and it just stays static. You have your group, that, whatever that is, but then there may be other bubbles that form that are way, way bigger than you ever were, which is what I hope. I hope that, I've said this before, I do the podcast thing. I hope there are podcasts that are 1,000 times bigger than me. They pop up, and I believe there will be over time. But anyways,
we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry I interrupted you. My bad.
No, sure. No, that's that was relevant actually. But how do you see, like, how do you project yourself, like, in the future doing exactly that, or did you come up with other ideas as well? Or?
I think I like in terms of contributing to the Cognisphere, I like what I'm doing. So I'll probably just, I plan to do it forever, but that's probably not going to happen. But that's the plan. I enjoy doing it, and I will keep doing it. If at some point I feel like we need podcasts and things like that, I think that's a big need right now. At some point when it's just exploded, and there's, like I said, if that happens where there's people way, way bigger and tons of it, maybe I don't feel the need to do it anymore. Maybe there's just no need to do it. But I may still, but that was kind of what I was saying, like where there might be like this constant signal. Let's say I just stay like that potentially, and then there's somebody else way bigger. Then maybe I just do it for fun and just have my little audience, and that's just what it is, which would be fun.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if there was no need for that. Like, because there's doing it and there's knowing how to do it, and I think you have this talent, like, to create space. I haven't listened to all the podcasts.
I hope nobody has. That's a lot. That's too much.
The sense that I got is that there's this way you have to create space and to open space, and it's much more. It's really an important format, not because it's video or audio, but because you can go deeper into certain topics, and plus it's interactive. I think it's fundamental, actually.
Yep.
Well, we're lucky to have you, man.
Well, I appreciate it. And really, I do think this what I'm doing will always be needed. What I meant was if there are other people who come and they're huge, become even bigger, and take up that space to where I may not even need, it wouldn't matter if I did do it or not. I think right now, I think it does. I think it is very helpful at the moment because there's not a lot of that, not too much of that at the moment. So I think it's more important now, but I think in the future it'll be less important if I specifically do it. Is what I mean. But I may still do it just because I like doing it. I don't know. I do plan on doing it for a long time though. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this reminds me of that video. I was going to bring up the video I saw. This is what puts you. I mean, I knew of you, but I didn't really know you that well. And then I saw this video that you made. I think it was in response to some of Hype's commentary about he likes to lean towards a certain aesthetic, a certain I guess culture. The Hype commentary, and then you had a video response to it, which I thought was interesting, and it definitely made me think. You take a very much. It felt like a very free market approach to culture and ideas and things bubbling up or not. What I was just curious if you had more you'd like to say on that.
Yeah, sure. Like that's one of the things I'm really fascinated about. But it was like the video, if that's the one I'm thinking, it wasn't responding to anyone specifically.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was just responding to like a general discussion. A lot of people were calling for cultural maintenance and shared this impression of identity delusion,
Sure.
which I understand where it comes from, but it's funny. It's one area where confusion often appears is in how people understand these kind of notions, identity, culture, even aesthetics. People sometimes treat those things as if they were fixed,
Right.
Almost like a brand guidelines.
Yeah. Yeah.
That need to be preserved. We're not running an H&M shop. We're not discussing the next collection. We're talking about very different things. When you look at how cultures have been studied in sociology and anthropology and art history and related disciplines, we have very different patterns that show up, and it's also historically when you look at the very few cases, because there are very few cases of strict calls for cultural preservation. You're not going to like those examples. At least I hope you're not going to like them, because they often come from the misunderstanding. That's one thing, misunderstanding of how a culture actually functions. But it comes from institutions trying to control expression. So that's another symptom of the institutional thinking I was talking about earlier. And the funny thing is that the outcome, whenever they tried, the outcome was exactly the opposite. It's like creative energy simply moves elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they tried, the artistic and cultural production take the exact opposite way that they tried to force them in.
Yep.
And I think that's awesome.
Yep.
That's really awesome, and it reinforces like this image of living organism. It's not autonomous, but it's almost autonomous. There are things that we can't like on the individual scale where we can't change its path anymore. We can collectively, but not individually. And again, like history's, there are like a plethora of examples throughout history. If you take punk, like I wrote an article when I comment on that. This you have punk in the 70s. It wasn't designed, it wasn't curated.
Sure.
It just emerged, in different cities simultaneously because the social conditions were there, and it's only much later that people started to define what punk was actually supposed to look like. But at the beginning, it's just a tsunami of an ocean of many things,
Right.
And I understand where that comes from, this idea that, oh my God, it doesn't look the way it used to. Well, it's going to keep happening, and that's a good sign. That's my point.
Yep.
It's a sign that it's a living culture. The minute it freezes, it dies.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And so, like the example I was thinking of are like Chinese repression, fascist Italy, Nazi Germany. They all tried to do that, and they failed miserably. Thank God. Like if you look at all the artistic and cultural production during those regimes, it's like it went the exact opposite way. It's fucking brilliant. There's nothing you can't contain those things. That's my point.
Right.
And
Right.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah, I very much lean on your side of the argument for sure. And and honestly, I don't think it even like if you take the other side where you think it should be lean more one way or the other, and we should kind of, like you said, guideline it a bit. It's not even going to work anyways. You could try all you want to; it doesn't matter. Like it in my view, you could try, but like since we are truly decentralized, it doesn't. You're not going to stop it. It doesn't really. It's like trying to hold back the tide. It's just you can't do it. So that's why I don't feel like I'm happy that people have those opinions and they love that style and they're going to fight for it. I think that's cool. Fight for it, whatever. I'm not concerned about it. I'm not concerned about that being the only style ever because I just think it's impossible to do at this point because the movement's too big now. You can't really crush ideas.
That's actually a great sign, the fact that.
Hello there. Thank you for watching Persist Forever. Please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. Now back to the episode.
It will choose the path on its own. There's nothing you and I can do about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually something that I think we tend to undervalue. And that's a sign that there's that those filtering mechanisms, those multi-layered, complex dynamics that drive the whole immune system and this living organism. That's a sign that you can trust it already. When I say trust the filtering mechanisms, I'm not calling for a leap of faith. They're like, it's very real, and it's look at what SPX survived already.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And one analogy that I saw coming every once in a while, it's like, we got to protect SPX because obviously all this is really well intended. We all love SPX and we want the best for it, obviously. But this analogy coming over and over, we got to protect it. It's like a kid, But okay, if you have two kids, one is overprotected and the other one you send it to war. Which one develops the best skills? Which one's the smartest? SPX was sent to war. SPX is war. What am I saying? It's disruption. It's the fight. It's resistance. It's it's part of the. I guess it all depends on what the DNA is for you. If it's permissionless and decentralized, then you gotta learn how to trust it because it can do the job. It already is doing the job. Right.
And I think that's the definitely one of the coolest things about it. It's going to. I mean, you can. It's kind of like if you take a hardline stance on it, you think SPX should be this certain style, this certain whatever. You're like I'm trying to think of an analogy, but somebody who loved, let's take like heavy metal, for example. You're like a old school Metallica guy. That's what you are. Anything outside of that, fuck you. That's fine, actually. There's people like that. That's cool. So I actually think it's okay that there's people who are like hardliners about it. I'm not too concerned about it because it's going to develop regardless. At least that's how I think about it.
Yeah, that's that's the problem of treating a movement like a band. Like, to use your example,
Yeah.
you can tame, you can curate, you can control and preserve the artistic output of a band, of an artist, but not a movement.
Right.
If you look at every single artistic movement, pick whatever you like. In the early stages, like those people who are part of the movement, they have nothing in common. Nothing.
Right.
This is established much, like, only retroactively, much later, and it's great. It's a great sign.
Yeah.
So we actually we came up with this this idea for Amsterdam, because we have there's a part that is an art exhibition.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll have like 69 pieces exhibited, and we have like a small, we call it the Emergent category. It's like things that that are quite recent and did not have enough, didn't get amplified enough.
Cool.
We don't know if it's gonna last. We don't know if it's gonna be absorbed by the network or rejected.
Sure.
But it's there, and
that's cool.
And because we had this idea of not of organizing the whole thing as to show that it's something in movement, again, like recent achievements, ongoing projects, and future projects. So it was important to show that this thing is going somewhere, and there are many directions it's actually taking. The movement is spreading in many directions simultaneously, and rather than having like trying to provide like some kind of arbitrary snapshot of what the community would be for us, it wouldn't make sense, and it would be completely arbitrary. But yeah, it's taking many ways, many interesting paths.
That's cool. I like that idea. Yeah, I think the conference is going to be sick. You have a lot of good speakers, and the art part will be awesome to see. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, and it's been really fun to work with those guys. T-Dog, Mike, Sam, Daponzi. It's really, I really like the work dynamic, and when you feel the guy next to you is giving his everything, it pushes you to do the same, and what's great is that the result is actually much greater than the sum of individual efforts. So I encourage every Aeon to look for people to work with.
Yeah, I think that's a great message.
And also this was talking about that with Mike, actually. This the responsibility you have when you're put in this spot, you have to somehow, let your preferences, your tastes, your opinions aside, and working in group helps a lot, because you have to do that. You don't have the choice.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
So T-Dog like is coordinating the whole thing. Like he has a lot of experience he owned a venue for a while.
Oh wow, really? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
So it's sort of, it's a bit different from what he used to do, but it's you can sense like he can connect the dots like really faster than anybody. Mike is taking care of the exhibition part.
Oh,
Sam
cool.
is working on the documentary. It's gonna be a blast. He's doing a
Oh
terrific
yeah,
job.
yeah. The documentary. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I
Documentary is
forgot about
going
that.
to be,
That's gonna be cool.
it's going to be great, and it's an opportunity for a lot of like new Aeons to look at the history and have a glance at how things actually took shape. It's really well done. Like we accompanied like the whole thing, like from the script writing. We proofread a couple of times, and now I think he's almost done pretty much. Like
Oh
he's
wow,
very
cool.
advanced. Like it's there's like maybe 5 to 7 minutes missing. So he's
Yeah,
done most of the job, and terrific work.
so, yeah. He
And
shared with me that I was just saying he shared with me the script after I spoke with him like a month ago. He shared with
yeah,
me the script. He asked me to look over it. I was like, it looks amazing. I'm not good at whenever I read something and I think it's great. I'm like, it's perfect. I'm not the best critiquer, and I'm just like, it looks good. So I'm not the best. I told him I was like, I'm sure there may be issues, but I'm not the best at this. But I will say, just from like a layperson or somebody who's not super critical, it looked great. But anyways, sorry. Go ahead. Look good to me. That's
yeah,
basically
no,
me.
he's doing it. Yeah, no, he's doing a terrific job. And yeah, and aside from that, there will be like IRL events, with
Sure.
Seb, with Daponzi is going to play a central part in that as well.
Cool.
And yeah, it's going to be terrific. We're going to heat the streets and mass on board Amsterdam.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's awesome.
It'll be intense. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's definitely not possible at the Greenville conference. Like we're very it's not really connected like that, like a city as well, and much smaller. So it's gonna be quite different. It's gonna be more relaxed, I would say. Y'all are really taking it, I think, very seriously, and it's gonna be y'all are the flagship conference this year for sure. Like it's gonna be sick.
The for Greenville, you guys are outside the city, or?
Well, the city is. We are outside the city. Yeah, the venue is outside the city. But even if we were in the city, it's small. It's not.
Okay.
Wouldn't be. Wouldn't quite work so well. But and then but the venue is outside the city as well. So it's not open. It's not going to be open to the public or. The main, I would say, the way that we're going to contribute in terms of, onboarding potentially new people or getting people interested is the content side. That's the main avenue for that, because everybody coming is already obsessed with SPX. We don't need to convince anybody coming. So the main thing is I'll make sure the live stream is done well. Make sure the video side is done well. We make sure we take tons of photos. That was something that I think missed in Miami was the photo aspect. Like we didn't have too many photos of the actual event. Just make sure that's like well known that there's tons of people attending, and it's super cool.
It's important to extend the life of the event.
Yes,
so
yes.
that we can work on the image, on the videos, and everything. That's very important, and that's actually we're glad Miami already happened, because we can learn from that too, and most certainly like the subsequent events that people will learn from Amsterdam and from Greenville too, like what worked and what would work perhaps a little less. I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
I'm excited about everything, to be honest. I think everything is going to be a blast, but
yeah, that's the main thing. Like in Miami, the thing that in terms of you having fun and enjoying it, that's 100% guaranteed. If everything else didn't work, if everything else did not go well, y'all are going to have a great time. At a bare minimum, that will happen. So, which is great. So there's that's the best part when you're in it. But I think like y'all are doing, and like we're trying to do as well, is try to extend the life of it and make sure when people, you know, go back and watch it or look at it and observe it, there's more to it. Like the documentary, I think, is a great example of that. And then the speakers and having the art exhibition and showing that off, that will be really cool.
No, we're lucky. We have so many great people on board. Like the presentations will be awesome.
Yes.
It was quite a challenge to organize that in a way that it doesn't feel like a series of isolated talks, you know, and sort of creating a dynamic and coherent narrative for those who will be there, you know.
Yeah.
The in-room experience, and yeah, I'll be hosting the whole thing and try to coordinate and transition from one presentation to the next.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's gonna be I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I'm going to need to get a little help with getting people set. I'm going to ask some people to help with that as well. Like, because in Miami it was like really hard because we had a lot of shit going on. I'll be honest, a lot of things going on. It was a very small room. Honestly, it was pretty small. So we were like trying to get people to come back to sit down, and we had to skip things because everybody was doing everything, and it was hard to get people to come sit back down and get going. Yeah. So rounding up people is the tough part, but you do need the intermission because you got to get other people set up. So, and people want to use the bathroom and that sort of thing. But yeah, you know, it was just those practical things we could have used a little help on because it got a little chaotic. But yeah, it just is. It was. It turned out. It turned out better than I even thought it would, though, because it was
awesome.
It was amazing. Awesome. Yep. And Jesse,
and it's going to be the first one forever.
Jesse and Grille really stepped up too, and Ilya did a great job planning. He planned the whole agenda. Like the whole agenda was him entirely, and yeah, it was cool. But y'all are planning it so far in advance. We had the agenda together like 2 days before it happened. Y'all are like so far in advance, and literally I did the live stream on my phone. That's why I looked like dog crap for the most part because it was on my phone, and the Wi-Fi was crap. So it was like PlayStation graphics, which was the joke, and it was. But luckily, 1% Aeon also recorded it on his phone, so he had good. Yeah. He actually had good quality, so I was able to take that with my audio. My audio was good. I love my audio setup. I'm going to use that again. So I was able to combine that, and I was able to I think I released each of the panels separately with good video quality and good audio quality. But the actual live stream does not look good at all. But it's there.
Yeah, there was like some improvisation going on, right?
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. Because I knew I wanted to live stream it, and then we didn't really talk about it at all. I was just like, yeah, I want to live stream it. So I just bought some stuff. I was like, okay, we definitely want good audio. I just bought that, and then brought my phone. I was like, yeah, that'll probably be fun. And yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like I think we made it feel way bigger than it was. That's the way I'll put it. It was cool though.
No, I don't think so. It's like I think the symbolic part of it was so important for it to be the very first one.
Yeah, it was cool.
Like, again, there will be so many other. I'm convinced about that, and not only conferences, like all types of events, like festivals and things. But Miami will be the first.
There you go.
So yeah.
It was so cool. That's the thing. That was the first time I met anybody in real life. That was amazing. You've already met some people, so that's cool. You've already got that under your belt, which is cool. And but that was surreal. Actually, the first person I met was Krishna. We actually met at the airport, and I drove him to his hotel and stuff. And that was amazing. And we met Spacey and user Aeon One and Aeon Girl, and we like hung out. And yeah, and then the next day we did the event. It was something else, man. Something else. So much fun.
And all the Basel exhibition was around the same area.
It was around the same area. Yep. And I think I think the intention was to plug those in. I don't think that worked quite as well as we were hoping. But we still had it at an art venue, which was cool. And we had some people come in because the whole idea was people were going to flow in. We were going to like tell people about the SPX. Some people came in. At the beginning of the live stream, there's like an older lady sitting there listening to the presentations like, what's going on? What is this? It was super funny. But yeah, we did have some, but yeah, I think there were learnings from that for sure. I think at least for Greenville, the thing I thought we did really well, and I think that I wanted to focus on was the content side, and I think I do have a little bit of a leaning towards that. But I thought the presentations and all that stuff was really cool. Like Polymetrics talk, that's gold, and it wouldn't have happened had we not do that. So that is what I thought was the best part. So that was what I really wanted to focus on in Greenville, and so that was kind of the idea that was what inspired it. Because I think we had a lot of ideas. I don't know if we executed all those ideas perfectly or the best necessarily. I think y'all are actually. Y'all have a lot of ideas and you're very planned. That's why I think y'all are going to take that and that concept and execute it well. So I think I'm excited.
I think it's mostly due to the fact that it's a group that works well.
Yeah,
together.
It helps y'all are near each other too. Like that's awesome.
Do you, at this point, you already know who's going to be presenting?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got it all. Well, one person, there's two people I'm still confirming for panels. So we're doing two speakers, two presentations. Well, the opening presentation will be by Cal. And then in the middle, we're going to have Cryptic Monge. He's going to do a quick presentation. And then there's going to be 4 panels. And on those panels, it'll be like 2 to 4 people on each panel. Actually, I think one of them, the first one has 5 people. And this one is only 2 people. And and then we're also going to do what we're calling an open mic, is the best way to put it. Useless Flame is going to start it, like say something interesting, and like then the idea is anybody can come up and say anything, and then it'll just be like a conversation with the audience. And I don't know how that's going to work because you are kind of leaving it quite open. But I said I think it's a good idea, and Useless came up with the idea, Useless Flame. And I said, but you have to start it. Like if we're going to do that, we need somebody to start it, and you're going to start it. That's the only way I think this will work. So. Oh yeah, and then at the end we're gonna do karaoke, and we had the venue all day actually, so we have it till 11 p.m. We're gonna do like a bunch of fun stuff afterwards, like karaoke, and we're gonna have board games, and we've got alcohol, so it'll be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
I wish I could go, man.
Oh yeah, that's why I think we gotta have it eventually on every continent. You know, Europe is big and America is big right now. So I think that's why that's important. But I think the only person from Europe that's coming is dubbing, but he hasn't 100% confirmed. He's like 90% confirmed. So really hope he can, because I want him to be on one of the panels we're going to do an AI panel on how it relates to SPX. I really want him to be on that. So, but we'll see. If not, we'll have to find somebody else.
All right.
Yes.
I hope that works out.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it's really, and I hope everybody shows up.
Yeah,
I mean the public, obviously, because uh, I guess showing up in real life uh, says a lot of things. It creates signal,
for
and
sure.
not showing up in real life also creates signal.
That's right.
So it's important for people who show some interest to actually show up,
Yep.
and it's going to be intense.
Yeah.
We're going to reach levels of bullishness. Like,
Hey, Girl Ape's
mentally
gonna
state.
Girl Ape's gonna be there. We'll have to get him to do the quote at some point. Say the quote, the famous whatever he said, which was so crazy and hilarious. The other bull forming inside me, or whatever. Oh my
That's
god,
awesome.
that was the most epic thing ever, the most epic quote ever. I don't know where that came from, but it was amazing.
That's a meme already.
Oh, big time. Chang has it memorized. I had him on the podcast, and he recited it. He's got it all memorized. Oh my god. Yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. I think I'm why can't I think? T Dog reached out to me about live streaming the Amsterdam event, so I think they're going to feed
Yeah.
the professionals are doing all their cool video stuff, and I think it's going to feed onto my StreamYard, which I'll be online the whole day watching it and making sure it looks good and everything. So
That's right. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that y'all chose me to live stream, and I think that's amazing. And and of course, I will send the video to y'all, and y'all could upload it wherever you want to, do whatever you want to with it. And I'll also, for personally, I will go through and clip each section of the main speakers and stuff, and upload those separately as well. So yeah, so I'm excited too. I'm excited. I'll be kind of involved or relatively,
Yeah.
and I'll get
Yeah.
to watch it and everything. So
You're gonna have to wake up in the middle of the night, though.
that's fine. It's fine. It'll be all right. I'll survive. No, I told my wife, I was like, yeah, that Saturday I'm going to be busy.
Yeah. Probably.
Yep. Okay, so do you have a few more questions? What do you think is the strongest narrative within SPX?
The strongest narrative. What do you mean?
There's
Like,
multiple. I feel like there's multiple narratives. We got the spiritual side to it. We've got the stock market very much focused on that side and kind of fuck the system type narrative. And then I'd say memes to get people involved in it is maybe the best way to put it, because I think that one of the primary memes at the moment is for the stock market, that sort of thing. And then some people take it that the very much the spiritual approach. Some people just look at it like this is a fun community they want to be a part of. They don't really even think about the other stuff. I was just curious what you think.
I can tell you what it is to me. Obviously, it's many things, including what you just listed. There's the fun part. There's the satire. There's the human part. There's the social part. There's the cultural part. But to me, the identity is very clear. What I see is disruption, resistance, a way to fight, a way to come up with a collective answer, actually. And to me, it's like once in a lifetime thing. Although we mentioned Bitcoin earlier, but we had it like 16 years ago, and now we're witnessing something like SPX emerging, and this might give younger generations the impression that major socio-cultural phenomena actually show up once every 15 years or so. I wouldn't count on that. I think we're extremely lucky to see two of those in our lifetime. So yeah, these moments are really unusual, and it's a possibility to actually fight back. And when you have, like us, I guess, when you have the feeling that something is actually taking shape, like in real time, I think it's natural to get involved, try to understand it, try to participate in it, and to treat it as if it might be like the last one you'll witness in your lifetime, because chances are it might be.
Yeah, and it's super enjoyable too for people who are dipping their toes in and want to just, if you're thinking about it, just whatever ideas you may have, just go full force with it and see how it goes, because you'll have a good time doing it at the very least.
Yeah, yeah, and and again, there's so many things to explore, like so many layers to explore.
Yeah, I was going to say, for outside of your Amsterdam contributions and stuff, I really enjoy your videos, and I haven't read that article you mentioned. I didn't know you had articles. So I definitely want to look into that. There's so much content now. I can keep up with
Yeah,
probably 5% of it, to be honest, or if that.
that's the same. Like I have a bunch of content saved, and I need like to take like a 2 weeks vacation to go through the whole thing full time.
There you go.
It's again, that's an amazing sign.
It's a good problem to have for sure.
It's a good problem to have. That's right.
But I remember at a time it was kind of like possible to kind of consume everything for the most part. About, a year-ish ago.
Yeah, different scale though. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy how much it's
yeah,
grown. It's awesome, and it's fun, man. It's enjoyable. You definitely can. I was talking to Slow about it. He's like, because he doesn't have I don't think he has a job at the moment, so he has a fair amount of free time. But I think he's helping with his grandma as well. But he was saying, yeah, I just consume SPX content all day, pretty much. That's hilarious. That's amazing. There you go. You can do that.
you can actually do that, and soon we'll have like a TV channel. We'll have radio stations, plural.
I love that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. If I was able to quit my job, I would be live streaming like all the time, just all the time. Not literally all the time, but a lot more. But, just talk. I would still do the end of the Cognosphere. I'd set up like another show, and maybe I'll just live stream otherwise and just like look at stuff and hang out with people, sort of thing. That would be what I would do if I was able to hopefully it's at some point that I will be able to do that. So that's the hope. Uh, where do you see the movement going to? Well, you kind of already hinted at it, but let's say the next. What scale do you think we reach in 5 years? We'll go with that.
Oh wow, man! 5 years is a lot.
It is okay. Okay, let's say the end of 2027. So we got the 2 years from now, basically.
I think. Well, I think things will be more well defined. More, we'll have more clarity, in the movements, and um, we'll have. I don't know where we will be. I have no idea, and again, I don't think we have a word to say in it.
Sure.
The beast chooses its own path, but uh, I think we'll have made a lot of progress in our ability to coordinate. We'll have a better understanding of the space in which we evolve. We'll have, most probably, I think it's gonna come soon. We'll have some academic reading. It's one thing to say it's a social phenomenon, but at some point sociologists need to step in and actually study the whole thing. It's one thing to say it's a human experience, but at some point we'll need anthropologists. It's one thing to say it's a cultural phenomena. We'll need historians and art historians. And once we have that, I think we're going to make a huge leap forward in terms of our understanding of the space in which we evolve. And that's going to accelerate things, I think. And also, as it relates to not just the space, but the mission in itself, I think the whole coordination will be much more put forward, because it's almost, sometimes I wonder whether it feels like a side quest. It's not a side quest. It's a central part. It's the keystone of everything, and the simple fact that we have to today, we have to talk about self-custody is incredible to me. It's something in most crypto contexts, it's something you frame as a personal advice, something you should, you should protect your funds, blah, blah, blah. But here, when it comes to SPX, it's different. It's it's part of the collective mechanics, the supply squeeze only works if your coins are not on the exchange. And that's actually how you partake in the mission. So that's step number one, or it should be. And I think by then, probably much earlier, we'll all have step up in terms of responsibility, and integrated that it's not a personal advice. It's like collective expectation,
Yeah.
That's the micro baby steps that we all have to take in order to reach the target. And yeah, by then it's going to be maybe mission accomplished. Who knows?
It'll never be mission accomplished. Even if the stock market's flipped, it's still not done. We'll have to flip it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say my only regret is we only get to do it once, but no, we actually get to do it several times. But then, what then? Then we have to come up with something that is actually aligned with the whole journey.
Yeah.
And then come the next topics,
That's why I quite like all these
network
other
states.
Right. Mm-hmm. I quite like I look at it like a tribe, a network state more so.
Yeah.
I prefer that almost. I think the narratives are what give purpose to form the network state. Mm-hmm. And over time, I think those narratives will change. Especially if the stock market we flip the stock market, then it'll have to change. But which I think we already have spiritually. We'll put it that way.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Serious question. When flippening?
When flippening?
Yes.
You want a date?
I want an exact date.
And an exact date.
I'm going to hold you to it when we hit that date.
I won't say 2069 because I probably won't be there. I want to see that happen. Man. Well, 5 years from now is good for me.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, that should be our goal. 5 years from now. That sounds like a good goal. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, not really. Except that, I'm really happy, man. I'm really happy we get to have this chat, and since I mentioned a few things that I think are, to me, still undervalued, it makes me think of this idea of interlocking networks, and my network plus yours plus his plus hers, and the way we want to see trust established even before the first conversation even happens. You and I have never. We're talking for the first time.
Right.
Actually, I don't
Yeah.
recall us having the
Nope.
slightest conversation, even
Nope.
and and I love the fact that I want you to know that. I know you want me to know that. And we both know if I ever go near Greenville and I reach out, or if you come near southern France or wherever I'll be, you can reach out and we can count on each other. And that's not priced in, man.
No, definitely not. And that's the coolest. That's the coolest utility, if you want to put the utility word out there.
Again, historically, very few movements managed to achieve that, and that's extremely valuable, especially now,
Right.
especially for the kind of people who are being onboarded.
Yep. Yeah, I think the filtering mechanism works too. You filter out the traders, the kind of not so great people. I think we really are distilling into some of the best people in the world, which I think is long term what you want. So,
yeah, amen to that.
There you go. I really appreciate you coming on, and we all appreciate the work you're doing with Amsterdam. I think it'll be awesome, and I love whenever I see a video of yours pop up and it happens to hit my timeline, I definitely check it out. So appreciate those, and just keep it up.
You too, man.
And if you're in Europe and you're listening to this, for the love of God, go to Amsterdam. You've got to do it. You don't have an excuse if you're in Europe, in my opinion. You have no excuse. Like America, I'll say the tickets are kind of pricey, so I'll give a little leeway to Americans. If you're in Europe, you should be able to do it.
I subscribe to that.
Yep. If you can't go to America, sweet, awesome. But I'll give you some leeway there. You should come to South Carolina. Do that instead. Anyways, I appreciate you coming on. I'll leave a link to Moss's X account below. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. Until next time, persist forever.